this core focused class today. So it's all going to be centered around strengthening the core and maybe taking a little stretch out at the end. But we're going to jump straight in and we're going to get started with some breath-led movement. So starting seated, so whether that's in a chair, maybe sat up in bed, maybe just on the floor, finding a comfortable place that you can hang out in just for a minute or so. Taking a little moment to allow the breath to settle at the very beginning. On the next inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up overhead. Maybe the hands meet at the top. Exhaling, taking the hands down to the chest. So once more, inhaling, sweeping the hands up. Exhaling, drawing the palms down to the heart center. Inhaling, reaching upwards, lifting the chest. Exhaling, drawing the hands down. Inhaling, reaching up, lifting the chin. Exhaling, drawing the hands down to the very center. And now taking both hands down to the mat. We're going to meet in a tabletop, taking the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to tuck the toes at the very beginning. Inhaling, lifting the knees off of the mat. Allowing the exhale. And then on the next inhale, we're going to lift the left hand, kicking the right foot through, taking it back to a hovering tabletop. Inhaling, lifting the right hand, kicking the left foot through, taking it back to tabletop. So taking that again on the other side, kicking through with the right foot, and then on the left, kicking through with the left foot. One more time. Inhaling, kicking through with the right foot, and then inhaling, kicking through with the left foot. And walking the hands back, taking the hips all the way down to the heels, but staying on the tippy toes, right? We're going to take the hands up overhead, and then on an inhale, we're going to start to lift until we're in an Utkatasana chair pose, but on the very tippy toes, drawing the abs inwards, right? So it tilts the pelvis back a little bit. Stay in for one more inhale. And then exhaling, stretching the legs all the way out. Maybe taking a little shakedown of the legs all together. Now inhaling, reaching the hands up overhead. Exhaling, folding forwards. You're going to take the hands to the shins, inhaling, lifting the chest halfway, and then exhaling, planting the hands, stepping back into our plank pose, pressing down through the hands. On the next exhale, we're going to lower halfway or maybe all the way, and then inhaling, untucking the toes, lifting the chest into our upward facing dog. Exhaling, taking the hips all the way back and up into our downward facing dog. And we're moving straight into it here. So inhaling, lifting the left foot all the way up behind. Exhaling, taking the foot in between the hands. Squeezing the abs helps with the balance here. As we inhale, coming up into our high lunge. Exhaling, taking the hands back to prayer at the heart center. Finding the balance here. On the next exhale, we're going to take our right elbow round and outside of the left knee, squeezing the abs as we draw the sternum in line with the palms. Breathing in deeply, squeezing the inner thighs together, squeezing the abs. And then with the next exhale, we're going to release the arms, coming back up into a high lunge. And now taking the left hand inside of the left foot, turning the back toes towards the right. We're going to reach the right hand upwards and then over into our side angle pose. Breathing in deeply here. Releasing a full exhale. On the next inhale, we're keeping the left knee bent, but we're sweeping the right hand back, lifting the left up overhead into our reverse warrior. And then with the next inhale, we're going to straighten the left leg, turning the back toes so that they point forwards once more. We're going to inhale, lifting the chest. Exhaling, folding forwards over the left leg and only coming down as far as feels comfortable, right? It's a big stretch all up the back of the left leg. So maybe taking the hands down to the floor, maybe hopping the back foot in a little bit. And for that final core stability challenge, we're going to take the hands as far back on the mat as they go, taking a deep inhale here, and with the exhale we're going to draw the right knee in line with the left, lifting the back toes, squeezing the right foot up towards the glutes into our humble flamingo. One more breath here. Exhaling, taking the back foot all the way down, bending into the left knee. Inhaling, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhaling, taking both hands down to the mat. We're going to step back into our plank pose. Pressing the hands down into the mat, taking a deep inhale. Exhaling and lowering. Inhaling, lifting the chest. And then with the exhale, taking the hips all the way back and up into our downward facing dog. With the next inhale, reaching the right foot all the way up behind. Exhaling, taking it in between the hands, finding the balance point, squeezing the abs, lifting the hands up overhead. And then exhaling, taking the hands to prayer at the heart center. One big inhale here. And with the exhale, we're going to take the left elbow over and outside of the right knee. Squeezing the abs as we draw the sternum aligned with the hands. Feeling the twist at the waist. Squeezing the abs, squeezing the inner thighs together. Keep the stability of the pose. Taking one big inhale here. And then with the exhale, releasing the twist. Maybe reaching upwards. And then with the exhale, taking the right hand down. Left toes turn to the left. Inhaling, reaching the left arm up. And maybe taking it over into our side angle on the other side. Breathing in deeply, squeezing the abs, keeping the pose active, reaching through the fingers, maybe back through the toes. One last inhale, and then with the next inhale we're going to sweep the left hand back, reaching the right hand up overhead, bending into that right knee. And then turning to the front, straightening the right leg, maybe hopping the back foot in a little bit. We're going to inhale, lifting the chest, and exhale, folding forwards over the right knee this time. Maybe staying here, releasing all through the back of the right leg, or maybe taking the hands down to the mat. So taking them back as far as they'll go. On the inhale, drawing the knees together, squeezing the abs to keep everything lifted, squeezing the left foot up towards the left glutes. One big inhale here. And then exhaling, releasing the left foot down to the mat, bending into the right knee, reaching upwards into our high lunge. Exhaling, drawing the hands down to the mat, stepping back into our plank. Pressing the hands down, inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, lowering all the way down this time. We're going to inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, taking the hips all the way back into our child's pose. Maybe resting the forehead down on the mat. Maybe taking a gentle sway from side to side, releasing any tension that's built up in the hips, maybe the shoulders. And then when you're ready, you're going to take the feet out in front. So we're coming down onto our backs, drawing feet in towards the glutes. You can take the hands either side of the hips, inhaling, lifting the hips upwards, allowing for that release all across the front of the body. Exhaling, sinking it back down. Inhaling, lifting the hips upwards. Exhaling, sinking the hips back down to earth. One more time. Inhaling, pressing everything upwards and forwards. Exhaling, sinking the hips down. And now taking the shins parallel to the floor. We're going to interlace our hands behind the head. We're going to inhale, lifting the shoulders off of the mat. Exhaling, right elbow over towards left knee. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, left elbow over to right knee. Inhaling back to center. And then exhaling, taking everything down to the mat once more. We're going to take that again. So inhaling, so interlacing the fingers behind the heads, taking the shins parallel to the floor, maybe extending the left leg this time. We're going to inhale, lifting the shoulders off of the mat, exhaling, right elbow over to the left, inhaling back to center, exhaling, left elbow over to the right, inhaling back to center, and then exhaling or releasing everything down to the mat, maybe rocking the knees from side to side. And we've got one more round. So when you're ready, interlacing the fingers behind the head, we're going to take the shins parallel to the floor, or maybe extending the right leg this time. On the next inhale, lifting the shoulders off of the mat. Exhaling the right elbow over towards the left knee. Inhaling back up to center. Exhaling left elbow over to right. Inhaling back up to center. And then exhaling, releasing everything down to the mat. Drawing the knees into the chest. Taking a little sway from side to side. We're going to release the feet down to the floor. And for the last time today, we're going to inhale, lifting the hips all the way up, pressing them as high as they'll go, maybe rolling up onto the shoulders, interlacing the hands underneath us to give a little bit more lift in your bridge pose, squeezing the glutes to press the hips forwards. With the next exhale, releasing everything down to the mat and taking the legs long, maybe closing down the eyes and finding a final rest.